I've been doing a lot of doom scrolling lately, so I got to thinking. And really, what is that? It's an activity with our hands that also we're using our brain. And, I have all this yarn. And I was like, well, why not make a challenge out of it and teach myself how to knit in an hour? So that's what I'm going to be doing today because we need to stop just sitting there on the couch doom scrolling because it's easy to do, but you get nothing out of it. There's no productivity. You were sitting there and just like a zombie, just looking at all the same shit that pops up on your feed. And I've seen a lot of girls who have been knitting and crocheting some really cute shit. So today, I'm going to set a challenge learning how to knit in exactly an hour. That includes, I'm going to look up some videos on YouTube and I'm going to start the whole chain of it. And we're going to see how much I can get done in an hour. And if, it looks good. I also do have an advantage here. Not going to lie. So when I was a kid, I got really into knitting. My grandma taught me how to knit. And so I knitted a lot of scarves for my friends. They got a lot of scarves as gifts, and they probably weren't the cutest ones. And when you were a kid back then, like, they probably were like, well, thanks. Thanks for this scarf that I'll probably never wear or I'll just throw away. But that's fine. So we're going to make a cute, chunky knit. Even though we are coming upon spring and summer and that thing might just have to sit in a drawer until next winter. But it's cold in Washington. I probably will still wear scarves. I mean, even in spring, it is freaking cold. It's windy, it's cold, and you can rock a scarf. It'll be cute. The goals, I really want to be able to knit one of those chunky, big knit blankets. So that'll be for another day, another time. And, they're like $300, and I do get why, because when I bought this yarn, it was not cheap. I mean, it is, what's it made out of? What are you? I don't think I don't know, it's probably synthetic. But I did buy this fancy, yes, it is happy sheep, goats, and alpaca. So I do believe it is sheep wool. It's really pretty. These are for another goal, another day. I want to actually learn how to knit something cute with this that I would wear other than a scarf, because these colors, I could see something being cute from that. So let's get to it. So I sat down this is a mid-editing process. I finished my whole entire intro, editing that, and then I got to the part, which you will see here shortly, of the entire challenge, and I did not get any of the audio. So stay tuned. I will be doing a little voiceover for the rest of the video because you fail and you fail until you succeed, and you'll fail again and you'll succeed. But I had a lot of fun doing this challenge, so I don't want to just waste what I've created. So we're just gonna work with what we've got, because why the heck not? But I'll show you really quick. As you can see here, we've got all our audio. Got all the audio here, and then it's just silence. Crickets, you guys. But don't worry, guys. We're still gonna make something of this. I went into this challenge with a lot of confidence, and really, I kind of feel like an hour was maybe more time than I needed. And if I wanted to make it more dicey, I should have done a lot less time. But at the same time, I really wanted to come out succeeding in this. I really didn't want to come out with just a natural disaster of, just a yarn disaster. But I thought about just sitting here and talking about the challenge, but I really just don't think that will be all that entertaining. The whole point of the challenge was to actually just showcase the fun banter of filming it and learning how to knit as I went. But instead, I thought I would tell you guys just a little bit more about myself. So, as you have previously heard, I'm 28 years old, but I am currently living with my mom. Yes, I said that. And that might be wild to think that I lived on my own for 6-7 years plus, and now I am currently living with my mom. It really could sound a little just like, really? Like, you're doing that? But in today's age, we live in a time period, and I live in a city and state where it is so goddamn fucking expensive to live on your own. I mean, when I'm talking expensive, I live 30 minutes, actually 40 minutes outside of Seattle, and apartments around here go from studios at $25 and 1 bedroom, 1 baths at $3,000 a month for rent, which, unless you just hit the freaking jackpot straight out of college and you got like a high ass paying job, you cannot afford that on your own. That is just pretty much impossible. Or if you have roommates you can stand, or you actually have a partner, because 2 incomes are probably the only way you could really sufficiently afford living anywhere. And outside of that, I also have a 11-year-old German Shepherd. And if you know German Shepherds at all, they are anxious cookies. They are stressy little things and hate change. Change is so stressful for them. And realistically, I had to move her around every year for many years. I would prefer not to do that unless I knew I was moving into another home or space where she would definitely be happy and content. Where I live now, she has a backyard, she has a routine, and she likes it here. And moving her into an apartment sounds honestly just terrible to do to her. And that being said, sure, I would love to live in my own house and have my own space and, be an adult. Because, at 28, you should have it all, right? You should have the house, you should have the partner and the family and the job. And I think a lot of us, as I am someone who is like a Gen X, but really close to a millennial, so we're just in that like in between. I was born in the 90s, grew up before iPad kids, and I'm VHS old. I am Blockbuster old, and I am grateful. I experienced those seasons of life, because honestly, these iPad kids are missing out, in my personal opinion. But yes, I think a lot more of us are realizing that life isn't all set, and you aren't expected to be at a certain place by this point in time, and that, life's a journey, and maybe we have moved back home and we don't have a husband and or wife or partner, and we're just like, wow, what the fuck? We're just singling really hard. We've done we worked on ourselves, and we're like, okay, we're happy, we're mentally healthy, we're doing it. And that just brings me into the dating scene, because dating nowadays, I see it a lot. I am not the only one out there struggling. A lot of us are struggling with finding our partner and that person to be with. And that's why I'm over here knitting shit. I'm learning how to knit and doing the thing on YouTube, wanting to be a content creator and, build my dreams up, because that's the best thing you can do. Work for yourself and do things that make you happy, right? Doing things that make you happy is definitely kind of what I'm going with as far as creative things that I'm doing with my YouTube channel. And, I had a lot of fun doing this challenge, and I think it really took a very minimal amount of effort. And the thing that I have done for so many freaking years is just hold my own self back by just not going for it and just doing the work. There are people out there who just, they've got that stamina, that drive, and I'm someone who has to push myself a lot harder to just get things done and not just freaking couch rot. And or just overthink everything, because I can definitely look back at the past and be like, wow, like, why the fuck wasn't I already doing this, and why did it take me so long to do what I'm doing? And that's okay. I think we all have our own timelines, and more people are talking about this, old, young, in between, whatever. Your 20s is not going to be, let me say that again. For some people, their 20s, they get shit done. But for a lot of us, like, even the ones who get shit done are, like, hitting those points where they're like, well, like, what am I doing? Like, have I done this right? And we're kind of just in that confusion stage, and really, you just want to enjoy the ride, enjoy the joy, and, keep going. Keep freaking going. So that's kind of, just a little bit of me in a nutshell, and I will for sure be doing more challenges like this, and I'm going to make sure I have my goddamn microphone set up correctly. Little time check here. I was at 17 minutes and I was pretty happy. I was like, look at me go. I did this. I freaking did this. And in the end, I was able to get pretty far in a pretty short amount of time, and I will wrap this video up for you now. Progress check. It's been, I think, like a week since I started this and did the challenge. Like I've said before, I work as a server, and my days off to when I work are very just, there is no routine to it. I don't have a set schedule. My weeks and days blur together. I'm on a day off right now, and then I work tomorrow 8 hours, so it's just like, I don't even know for sure. But I have spent some time here and there at night knitting on this, and I would say if I had been doing it every night, I'd probably be farther along than I am, but I've just been tired, and most days after work, I just don't. I don't want to do anything. But to just showcase a little progression here on, taking 30 minutes out of my day and setting a challenge to learn something new, and I can do it with ease, I will say. I could sit here and just chill and knit. Oh, don't fall. What I quickly realized with doing this is how thick I wanted to make it and how chunky this yarn is. If I would really want to make a scarf to the length and entirety that I would like, I think I would need like 2 more bundles of yarn. So I came up with a thought and vision and idea of potentially making it into a little handbag somehow. A custom knit handbag. I don't know if it'll be cute. Who knows? But I think it has some potential. I think it has some potential, and it still is just playing around and getting creative. But I just wanted to show you guys how easy this has gotten for me. And I've only done like a few rounds. So I'd be curious from others if you are a knitter, if you want to try this challenge, give yourself an hour and learn. And if it's also easy for you, or if me having a background of knitting when I was a kid kind of gave me that much of an advantage, or if I'm kind of a natural, just in general, like if you guys see this and you're like, no, I could not do that, or like it's really hard, or it's actually just typically a pretty easy thing to do and learn, let me know. I'd love to hear back on if you decided to knit yourself or set yourself a challenge to learn how to knit in a certain amount of time, because the yarn's going to be the most expensive part. Needles, super cheap. Head on down to your Michaels and grab some supplies and set your timer. See what you can create. Because, you know, knitting, crocheting, clothes, style, you can do a lot of stuff yourself and add some uniqueness to your style and fashion just by creating some handmade things. Everything nowadays is so synthetic and just like replicas of the same thing. So I feel like it could be really cool to make some items myself, and you know, others have inspired me to do that, and maybe I'll inspire someone to go try and knit, or maybe I won't, and I'll just sit here and knit by myself. It's fine. Well, if you liked this, like and subscribe. Let me know below if it is actually really freaking hard to knit, or it's just an easy thing to pick up. Well, until next time, I'll see you on the next challenge.